All right. Board members, we're live and streaming. So we're just going to resume the open meeting and begin with the call to action number 44. We call upon the Government of Canada to develop a national action plan, strategies, and other concrete measures to achieve the goals of the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. And before we get into the agenda, I would accept the motion to vary the agenda to bring forward item G2, which involves the Black Creek Oyster Bay. Okay, moved and seconded. Any opposed? Okay, and that'll help out Director Rice. So we'll now move to item G2, which is Black Creek Oyster Bay Water Service Area Bylaw number 1993. I need reading glasses. Moved, and does anyone care to second that? Seconded by Kerr. Anything to say on that? Okay, the recommendation has been moved and second. This is to be given first and second reading concurrently. Anyone opposed? And that passes. And there's a second recommendation that be read a third time. Okay, that's been moved and seconded. Any comments on that? Any opposed? And that passes unanimously. And you, Director Rice, get to leave the meeting at this point. I believe that's all that. Have a good afternoon. All right, so we move back to the regular flow of the agenda, and that'll be next item would be adoption of minutes from March the 12th. Moved and seconded. Any questions on the minutes? Anyone opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. And we have business arising from minutes. We had two delegations, and we're just going to start off with an update from staff on the Make Back Roads Safe delegation. I'll pass it to our CAO.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. And as is normal practice, the follow-up from delegations will typically come to the subsequent board meeting for further consideration. And I think, as I mentioned, at the board meeting last week, following the delegation, there's a fair bit of work that the CVRD is undertaking through the Sewage Commission's conveyance project, and working with municipal partners and the Ministry of Transportation. And that traffic management plan is really the key, in our view, to bring forward some of these potential mitigation measures, and then. Perhaps, where there is points of alignment, the CVRD might be able to work with Courtney Comox and Ministry to advocate for those either mitigation measures during the project or ongoing measures over the long term. So staff don't feel that there's any further recommendations needed at this point, but certainly entertain any discussion that you might have, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thanks, James. So no immediate action at this point on Make Back Road Safe. There's a second delegation from Large Comox Valley, and there's a recommendation. I'll just maybe ask the CEO to speak for a second to introduce that.
Thanks. And this was that second delegation from last week. In this instance, Large Comox Valley is looking for a letter of support for their housing project. Staff see that being an appropriate action for the board to take, and the wording is presented here if the board wants to consider that wording. This is for the Anchorage housing project.
Does someone care to? It's for moved by Kerr, and are you seconding, or you want to speak, Director Hillian? Okay, seconded by Director Hillian. Any questions on that? Seems like an admirable project worthy of our support. And any opposed? And that passes unanimously. Perfect. Okay, we have no delegations and petitions this week. Reports, we have the ESC minutes from March 11th for receipt. Moved and seconded. Any questions? Anyone opposed? And that passes unanimously. There's a recommendation regarding the discharge of a covenant on Mellifera Place. Moved. Second. And seconded, thank you. And this is a vote of the areas A, B, and C. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Next item is the Sewage Commission minutes for March 11th. Moved and seconded. Any questions? Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Minutes for the public hearing regarding 3960 Minto Road for receipt. Second. Moved and seconded. Any questions? No. Any opposed? All right, and that passes unanimously. We move into bylaws and resolutions. And the first is rural Comox Valley zoning bylaw number 520 regarding 3960 Minto Road. So if someone wants to move it, thank you. Or sorry, for third reading, I should clarify that. So this is, yes, for third reading, thank you. And that's a vote of the areas. Again, this is third reading. Anyone opposed? That passes. Next, for first and second and third reading, we have Black Creek Oyster Bay. Oh, so we've already done that. Move 821 actually. We did 820 earlier. Okay, 821 for first and second. And that's a vote of everyone. So any questions? Oh, do we have a seconder on that? Thanks, Director Grant. Any opposed? Passed unanimously. And third reading on 821. Moved and seconded. Any questions? Any opposed? This is a lot of saying that over and over again in this meeting. And now we're looking to rescind third reading and amend its second reading. This is the bylaw adjudication ticketing bylaw number 679. Okay, the recommendation that it be rescinded. So that's the first one, and that's a vote of the areas A, B, and C. So we moved and seconded. Any opposed? That passes unanimously. The second piece is for the amendment. Moved as amended for first and second, and it's a vote of the areas. Any opposed? Great. And the amended bylaw for third reading. Moved and seconded. Any questions? Okay. Any opposed? And that passes. Okay. So now we move for adoption. This is the municipal ticket information bylaw referred to earlier. This is A, B, and C. Moved and seconded. Any questions? Any opposed? That passes. Next, let's see, the adoption of revenue anticipation borrowing bylaw number 816. Okay, first and seconded. Any questions? Any opposed? And here's kind of the big one, the Comox Valley Regional District 2024 to 2028 Financial Plan and Capital Expenditure Program bylaw number 815. That's for final adoption. Moved and seconded. Any opposed? And that passes unanimously. Thank you, Lucy, and everyone else who got us to this point. Just a small round of applause. And this has got to rank as one of our fastest meetings ever. This time, at this point, we will move. There's no further business to move back in camera at 9 minutes and 35 seconds.